Grok AI, a frontier AI lab, recently tweeted that they're gonna beat T1, the reigning world champions at League of Legends. So they built a bot with Kua, computer vision, state machine logic, and train a model that watches the game, finds camps, thinks with Grok, and clears the jungle. Okay, so botting games isn't new. Famously, OpenAI beat Dota 2 professionals in their own game, and League itself has its own bot lobbies. But those have engine access, meaning the game state could be read for exact positions, health values, cooldowns, etc. Now, OpenAI had this data since they collaborated, and moreover, they could actually use reinforcement learning and run simulations in the actual game. Now, we need this since we want to be able to click on camps in order to clear them, but
Riot is implementing a lot of new changes to the game. They are going to require Vanguard. The anti-cheat engine is effectively code that runs on the computer and looks for cheaters.
alright, I don't want to get banned for scripting, so pure vision it is. So we gotta train a model to understand the game via pixels. There was a CV paper that dropped for Genshin, but playing League just requires a lot lower latency. Okay. Right, so my idea was to build something more hybrid, I guess a bottom-up approach for top-down gameplay. So I first had to train a vision model since I need game data to be streamed live, fast, and efficiently. So having it be local is a good idea. Every few frames, this model returns camp, player position, and health. Then I thought about how I could use this data, and I realized that when you play League, you have some decision tree in a sense where you see this happen, and logically it follows that you take an action. Since we don't have access to any live API, we can't run simulations for a model to deduce what action to take next, which is done implicitly in traditional reinforcement learning. So we kind of have to mimic it instead, and a good way was to look at how humans, or how we quantify these states that we think in when we play League. So for example, you're walking to the next camp, you're kiting, you're attacking, etc. Obviously we do this because we want to win the game, and that's our reward. But since RL isn't on the board, we have to hard code this. Or we have Grok, who's already kind of familiar with how to play the game, but Grok doesn't have native computer use yet, so I had to build one specifically for this task using SOM and Kua. To recap, we have Grok analyze certain stills and determine the next state. This way we don't have to run 200 years of gameplay just so we could have a usable model that can learn from its environment. As you can see, the bot itself actually just clears the jungle. I have Grok verify that the camp is actually dead, then it can move on to the next camp and clear it. It enters states sporadically. For example, if a camp is low HP, it starts kiting away and walking to the next camp. How it determines its path or what camps it clears in order is currently hard-coded, but can be changed if Grok wants to go somewhere else. So yes, the bot is autonomous and pretty accurate. I did prioritize making sure we clear the camp before moving on. Overall, I think it's pretty cool that Riot's own bots can't even do this yet, so yeah. Now, limitations and upgrades that we could add. First, the dataset I trained my model on was hand-labeled by me from a single clear, so a natural next step could be finding better training data and edge cases. Another idea is minimap state inference. The bot only looks at where the player icon is at on the map. There's a lot more information, such as enemy positions or the absence of enemy positions. For example, the mid laner was visible and now they're gone. Where are they? Chess engines solve this with evaluation functions, but League is too dynamic for such static heuristics. Also, if the enemy jungler shows up and clears your camps, Grok needs to recognize when the plan is compromised and generate a new one. Moreover, the bot is geared for Hecarim only. In the future, we should generalize to other junglers and other champions, as well as set up benchmarking for concrete metrics like clear time, gold efficiency, and health remaining. There's no baseline unless you count the 3-minute clear. Anyway, the bot is live and runs, which I would say is a pretty good upgrade from this, where this person let Claude, with its basic pre-training, attempt to play League, and while it didn't go very well, it was very interesting, and it was more or less the basis of this video. So, a shout out to this guy, and thanks for watching. Oh, what are we doing? Yo. Okay. Hit walls, please.